Hello, I'm here on behalf of Switalskis to speak about what lawyers can offer survivors of child abuse.
When a person calls up or emails describing their abuse, what do you have to offer?
Lawyers can offer all sorts of things to survivors of child abuse, but I think the first piece of advice I would offer would be to take it at your own pace. If you're thinking about contacting the police or a lawyer, then get ready, do it at your own pace, don't be rushed into it, and think about the consequences. You might want to talk it through with a solicitor to work out exactly what it will entail. You might want to think about getting some kind of counselling or therapy, or talking to a very, very highly trusted friend about what you've been through and what you want to achieve from speaking about it. Lawyers can offer support in advising on going to speak to the police also. We will recommend that a person who has suffered child abuse does speak to the police, probably at the outset of making some kind of legal action. So that would be the first step, and we can offer support on guiding a person through the process and helping with reporting to the police. Once the police investigation or potential prosecution is finished, that's the point at which we would get involved to advise you on a potential civil case. That is a case against an organisation or the abuser themselves for compensation. If it's against a school or a church, or even against social services for failing to protect you, then we can take those kinds of actions. And if the perpetrator has money or assets that we can pursue, we can take a case directly against the perpetrator. In most cases, I would also recommend that we consider a criminal injuries compensation application. You've obviously been the victim of a crime, and the Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority is there to compensate victims of violent crime such as yourself. So that's something that I would most of the time recommend. As specialist compensation lawyers, we're also aware of different schemes around the country which are set up by organisations who are responsible for perpetrators that they were employing. It's a lot easier than pursuing a civil case, so I would also recommend that we look into that for you as well.
What is a CICA, and briefly, how does it work?
The CICA is short for Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority. It's a government scheme set up to compensate victims of violent crime. And as a person who has been subject to child sexual abuse, you will be eligible under the Criminal Injuries Compensation Scheme, so long as it's reported to the police.
How long does the whole process usually take?
So the process of pursuing a case with the police and a civil case isn't as short as you might imagine. Your involvement, if you start work with us, is likely to take 2 or 3 years. That's the average length of a case that you will be pursuing with us.
Will I have to go to court?
If you pursue a compensation claim with Switalskis, it's very unlikely that you'll have to go to court. On average, it's a less than 1% chance that you'll have to give evidence at court.
If I get compensation, will I lose my benefits?
If you get compensation through Switalskis, you don't have to lose your benefits. We can set up something called a personal injury trust, which protects your means tested benefits, so you can keep all your compensation. For more information on the work of Switalskis in child abuse cases, look at our website switalskis.com and find the child abuse pages.